Welcome back to ＳիվիլNet. I'm your host, Patrick Elliott. I'm joined today at WCIT by Mathew Zein, who's a freelance writer, who's a digital nomad, who's a foreigner living in Armenia, and who's the founder of the Life in Armenia magazine. Mathew, thanks for joining us.
Hi, thanks. Thanks for having me here.
Tell us what was the idea behind Life in Armenia? What prompted you to create a magazine about living in Armenia?
So after 10 years of writing, writing is what I do for a living, journalistic writing and more specific. After all these years, I wanted to write about something that I'm interested in, something I have passion for. And it was digital nomadism in the first place. I have been a digital nomad, traveling to different places, working remotely. And then Armenia killed my digital nomadism lifestyle when I found this country and settled down here. So I thought, let's combine both together. It's Life in Armenia for digital nomad families. And that was the reason behind the magazine. And we just share stories of people who relocated. We share some cultural aspects, something about the tech industry, something about regulations, taxes, everything that makes life here the way it is.
Why do you find Armenia to be like a particularly advantageous place for digital nomads as opposed to Barcelona or Serbia or Thailand or wherever else?
So first of all, as a digital nomad, you would like to try different locations. So you're not settling down in one location. So Armenia is one of those locations. It's now an emerging one. For a remote worker, taxes are so low. For example, you can pay something between 1.5 or up to 5% taxes on your income. And that's really great compared to many other destinations. There is no income restrictions. So you don't have to prove that you make a certain amount of money so you can get a residence permit in Armenia. And that's also a big advantage because every other country that issued the digital nomad visa, they had a lot of conditions and income restrictions. There is no restrictions on collaborating with local companies. You can work with anyone in here. Again, many other countries prevent you from working with local companies. You can only bring income from outside. In Armenia, you can work with local companies and you can work with foreign companies. So that's also great. It's affordable. There is a great culture. So those are the other things on the side.
Where do we rank on the scale here?
So before, Armenia was never ranked in any index when it comes to digital nomadism because it was not considered a destination. Unfortunately, it's not promoted as a remote work destination. Recently, Armenia was ranked on the Global Nomad Citizen. Yes, the Global Citizen Index. It was ranked 18 worldwide. Wow. So when you get 18 as a ranking, and you're many other destinations that are so popular are now below Armenia.
Wow.
That's great. We've been pitching them, by the way, a lot of times we've been publishing a lot of articles, 200 articles in the past 1.5 years about digital nomadism in Armenia. So it means it's happening, but we just need more publicity so we can bring more digital nomads.
Well, since we're here at WCIT and you have involvement in the tech industry, again, I'm asking you as a foreigner just because it's interesting for Armenians to see what the outside perspective is, but how do you see working with Armenians here, employing Armenians? What do you see as the talent in this country?
So unfortunately, many people have no idea about the talent here, have no idea about the ecosystem here. You mentioned the startup ecosystem in Armenia. It ranks 200 out of 1,000 cities worldwide.
Yeah.
So when you are in the top 200, and I know it's not the top 20, but again, for Armenia's economy, for Armenia as a small country, this is great.
Yeah. We're #1 in the region as well, in the broader, not just the Caucasus, but this part of the world.
Yeah. So these are many things a lot of people have no idea about. So WCIT is a great opportunity to just highlight this, to put Armenia under the spotlight, at least for, I don't know, a couple of weeks. So we can get people to know more, to read more, to find out more. And those interested can figure out okay, so maybe it's a destination I can work from remotely.
Yeah. One thing I always say is that potential that's not acted upon is potential wasted. So yeah, we have the spotlight now, but in your opinion, what do you think we're failing at as a country, as a nation, as a people, when it comes to telling our story and getting this attention on the country?
You said it, telling the story. So when I started Life in Armenia, we focused on telling stories. We tell hundreds of stories of people who relocated, people who worked from here, and you can never imagine the amount of good feelings they have about the country. Now, compare that to all the negativity that you have online, all the negative news, everything bad you can find circulating online about Armenia. That's way too much. So what we're trying to do is to just push some positive news all the time. And although it's not that big, it makes a difference. And this means, again, it's telling the story. You have to tell the story of what's happening now. You have to tell the stories of how people are enjoying this country, because these stories are influencing others. They always like, there's a motto we have that first they read stories in Life Armenia, then they become the story in Life in Armenia, because I meet them here. I have met a lot of people from the States, Canada, the Philippines, different countries who came here, relocated here, and they told their story through the magazine, so we can bring others.
Mathew Zein, thanks again for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for this great show.
Thanks again for watching CivilNet.